Okay, joining me now, Paulomi Saha still with us. Paulomi, are you also taking the blessings at Kamakhya temple or only watching the politicians taking their blessings?
Sir, we are going to Kamakhya Devi temple.
Okay.
We'll pray for our state. And sir, when I speak to, I remember my childhood when we used to stay near the place where your father used to stay, and we used to call him Mama.
I know. You are very close to my father. That I must tell our viewers. I know Mr. Kesarkar's family rather well, but I appreciate your joining us, Mr. Kesarkar. Thank you so much. And as I said, we'll know what happens tomorrow. Paulomi Saha, you're still with us. Are you also, as I said, taking darshan at Kamakhya temple? You heard what Mr. Kesarkar said. They are waiting for that Supreme Court final order and then going to move out of Guwahati, most likely to Goa and then from there to Mumbai.
That's right, Rajdeep. Of course, I would be blessed if I could, in fact, go into Ma Kamakhya temple, which has only recently opened again after a brief period of the kapat being closed, as they say. Obviously, that is why Mr. Eknath Shinde, of course, because he is embarking on something auspicious, as he would want to remember this time in his political career. He went to Ma Kamakhya temple earlier this morning, and now a bus full of legislators who have been living inside Hotel Radisson since the 22nd of June are headed to Kamakhya temple. Obviously, the media unlikely to be allowed to enter the Kamakhya temple. Of course, Mr. Kesarkar was telling you, Rajdeep, that they're going to return to the hotel and possibly watch what happens in the Supreme Court. But also, we've been told by sources within SpiceJet from the aviation industry that a special SpiceJet flight is currently chartered, is currently en route to Guwahati as we speak. It will ferry the MLAs from Guwahati to Goa, and SpiceJet had in fact brought these MLAs from Surat to Guwahati on the early morning of the 22nd of June as well. And we have been given a tentative time, Rajdeep, from our sources of 4:30 p.m. in the evening for the takeoff of that flight, is what we've been told. We've also been told categorically that it's fluid. Could be earlier, could be later as well. But they have been told, SpiceJet has been told to be ready for takeoff at 4:30 p.m. Rajdeep, from Guwahati Airport.
Very interesting details you're providing. SpiceJet, remember there has been SpiceJet is seen by some to be very close to the establishment. And SpiceJet flight has been prepared for the MLAs to fly to Goa. They'll probably wait for that Supreme Court order, or they probably already believe that it's all set and done. A very remote chance, it would appear, in the courts for anything to change. Vidya is joining us from Matoshri, outside the Thackeray residence. Anisha Mathur is at the Supreme Court, and Ritvik Bhalekar is at Pawar's residence in central Mumbai. But Anisha, as I was saying, the next battle takes place around 5 p.m. today in the Supreme Court, where Uddhav Thackeray's camp has got Abhishek Manu Singhvi appearing for them. And what are their contentions? Do they really have a case? What is the Uddhav camp now claiming before the court?
Well, Rajdeep, application that is being filed by the Uddhav camp in the Supreme Court is on a very simple point, that if the disqualification proceedings are pending against 16 MLAs, then how could the governor have passed this order? And secondly, how could the governor have passed this order in the first place for calling an assembly session and a floor test without the concurrence of the Chief Minister or the Council of Ministers? Now, we'll have to wait and see how this will play out in the court when the matter gets taken up at 5 p.m. today, with the governor's letter being delivered to the Chief Minister's office this morning. The petition has been filed in a hurry. The detailed copy of the petition itself has not yet been filed before the court. Senior Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, appearing before the court at 10:30 this morning, pointed out that because this matter is so urgent, we are moving the court for an urgent indulgence, that if those MLAs against whom disqualification proceedings are pending are allowed to vote, this will create an illegal situation where, and I'm quoting Singhvi here, stigmatized MLAs will be able to vote for the vote in the assembly and decide on the future of the house. And that is the point that this Shiv Sena is making, that since this matter is already pending, that issue should be decided first. On the other side, of course, from the Shinde faction, senior advocate N.K. Kaul was also appearing. Advocate Neeraj Kishan Kaul for the Shinde faction has said that the pending disqualification proceedings would have no impact on the floor test. He pointed out that there are precedents which have said that disqualification proceedings can continue later, but the floor test has to be necessarily conducted first. Now, the Supreme Court has said that the Shiv Sena has pointed out a matter of urgency, that it seems that the court will have to take up this matter, and therefore this matter will now be taken up at 5 p.m. But as far as the legalities and the political maneuvering is concerned, where the Shinde faction votes and what they choose to do will play a very, very crucial role as far as both the disqualification and the voting in the House is concerned. So a lot will depend on what happens to the MLAs who are currently in the bus that Polumi is following. Back to you.
Okay, very interesting. But a very limited possibility, it appears, going by precedents, to challenge the governor's discretion to call for a floor test. Ritwik with us outside Sharad Pawar's house, and Vidya, you're at Matoshri. Uddhav Thackeray down with COVID, so will he even be there in the assembly tomorrow, or have they virtually given up? Are they still ready for a final fight, or is there only Sanjay Raut claiming we are ready for a final fight, Vidya?
Well, if the Supreme Court does not give any relief and the floor test does happen tomorrow at 11 o'clock, then we might see Uddhav Thackeray heading to the assembly. In fact, he has been addressing quite a few, though he has been attending the cabinet meetings through video conferencing, but we did see day before yesterday he had come all the way to the Shiv Sena Bhavan, where 6 resolutions against these revolting MLAs was taken by the executive committee of the Shiv Sena. So obviously, Uddhav Thackeray is trying to meet everyone that he can. He's meeting party workers and also trying to exert pressure. Remember, Eknath Shinde has just now tweeted about how Shiv Sainik should not, get into the misconceptions that is being spread. They are still Shiv Sainiks, is what Eknath Shinde has been stating, with a tweet wherein every hashtag is of me Shiv Sainik. So certainly at this juncture, there are, people still coming in. We'll try to just show you that there is someone actually just heading right now. We'll try to see who is coming over to Matoshri right now. But then certainly meetings between these leaders, especially yesterday we had seen, Congress leaders day for yesterday had come, the NCP leaders had come. Today, at this juncture, it is, various leaders of the MLAs who had come here.